Hi everyone, this is Brazel. Welcome to my world. Today we're working on colors, shapes, and trigger points. So let's go to stripes, which is the reason I've got my shirt on today. Whenever I'm working in a team event, whenever I'm really wanting someone to know I'm working with them as a team, when we're working on the same project, I'll always wear stripes. So that immediately links to their subconscious that it's not just all about me. I'll wear plain when I want to get really a massive message across, or I want a certain story across, I want focus, and I don't want anything else happening. But whenever I'm doing a team event or anything that's really about teamwork, I'll go for the stripes. The color you have with the stripes, the width of the stripes are very important, but you've got to know the clothes you wear each day tell the story. It tells the story of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and where your connection is in the outside world. Now, you make that conscious choice about what colors you are wearing. You make that conscious choice that this is what I'm going to wear today. Now, I know some people work in McDonald's or in these places where it's black on black on black. Yeah, you don't have that outside story, but you do have the inside story, which is your underclothing. So you still can take some sort of control. So when you make a conscious choice with color, you're making a conscious choice about being in control to your life, to where you want to go. Now, for me, I have over 105, 106 combinations. There are so many combinations of colors that affect your mind. Come do one of my courses, you'll love it. But today we're back to stripes. The other thing is, as I said a minute ago, you tell a story. And I always remember the mom who came and she was doing a massive whinge. And I'm talking about a whinge. You know, her son was driving up a wall. He was only 9 years of age. I'm thinking, how can 9-year-olds drive you up the wall that much? Well, every time I met him, we got on like a house on fire. He would listen to me and we'd have fun. Anyway, I said, just bring him along and we'll have a consult. And anyway, he turned up, and as usual, he turned up looking at me as if, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Anyway, she turned up and I just looked at his clothing. I looked at her clothing first, and she had a pattern top and a pattern bottom, and the patterns weren't the same. So that to me in her headspace is all over the place. And then I looked at the little boy, and on his t-shirt he had whatever, 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 whatever. On his pants, he had army pants. And I said to her, just remind me what the problem is. And she said, he says one word over and over again, or he says one sentence over and over again, and he's always fighting. He doesn't do anything else but fight. It's like it's got to be a fight all the time. And I just turned to her and I said, who buys his clothes? And she said, I do. Does he have any say? No, I usually pick them all for him. I said, just have a look at his t-shirt, which is what he's wearing. You said one of the problems is he repeats words over and over again, and he consistently stays with the same phrase. The shirt he's wearing, I do believe, says whatever, whatever, whatever. And she said, oh my goodness, it does. I said, did you not say the second problem was pants? So anything from the waist down in pants, shorts, or shoes is where you're walking to for the future. I said, so you selected those army pants? And she said, yeah, I thought he would look really cool in it, and it was like a latest thing happening. I said, what are they? And she said, army pants. I said, what does the army do? She said, fight. So I said, you've dressed him in the problem you have, virtually telling him, it's okay, go out there and fight, you're in the army. And you can say whatever you want over and over again, it doesn't really matter. And then her face just went. And I said, now let's look at you, because he looks at you. What's the story you are telling him? And she looked at her clothes. She said, oh, they're patterns. And I said, yeah, do the pattern match? No. Is there patterns from top to bottom? Yes. I said, so he can't get clear in his headspace because you can't get clear in his headspace. Anyway, then we looked at his bedroom, and in his bedroom it was blue quilts, blue sheets, blue walls. Blue is tied up in emotions. We changed the quilts on his bed. We changed the colors on the walls. He started doing a creative drawing series with me. We had a totally different child. He knew, and I explained to him, when your mind gets messy, this is what I want you to do. And so he had tips and ways to do it. It was so interesting. After the mama changed the little boy's bedroom, she then changed her own bedroom to white walls, because again, it was blue. So she, being so tied up in the emotion, kept painting walls around the house blue. Blue is a great color, but not wall after wall, room after room, and particularly in bedrooms. Anyway, back to the stripes. So it's all stripes today, but that's a great story to get your mind thinking about what clothes you're wearing today, because the clothes you're wearing today is the story you're telling everyone in the outside world. So when you have stripes this way, excuse my drawing, same as my shirt, that means everything's running up and down and it's everything in its flow. When you put your stripes this way going across, you're laying foundations. So if I had a shirt going across this way with the stripes, that would say I'm trying to lay foundations. So go back to the bedroom. When you've got stripes this way on your quilt, maybe wider stripes, then you're flowing and you're growing. When you've got stripes like this on your quilt in your bedroom, you're laying the foundations. So it can be one or two things. You're either laying the foundations to where you want to go, or you're blocking yourself. And you will know, listening to this, oh, I'm blocked, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not getting to the next stage. Well, have a look if your quilt's got stripes like this. Worst quilt scenario in the bedroom with stripes is the stripes that go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That thing with your stripes going that way means you're in total conflict, because you have the fire element, which is here, then you've got the water element. And then if it happened to be red, it's even worse with that. So have a look at, we're matching two things this week, the clothes you wear each day. What clothes have you put on today to tell the outside world how and what's going on in your headspace and what's going on in your life? The other place we're going to match the colors and the patterns is in the bedroom, and it's your quilt. What does your bedroom quilt say about you? What's happening in your life? What's happening in your mind? So you can always send in any pictures. You can book a time. You can have just a one-room consult. Don't stay stuck when you don't have to. Don't stay stressed out when you don't have to. Don't stay down here not achieving your goals, your dreams, whether they're career, whether they're love, whether they're money. All of that is an energy. You have access to change any energy in your life at any moment, and it can change just like that. So this is me out, and I'll be back with some more tips for you to get your life right, to live a great life in the most amazing way. Cheers for now.